stack here. So we're talking about the Writhing Horror. Holding threat, very important. So as you tank the Writhing Horror, he's going to be giving you stacks. These stacks, in turn, will spawn larvae if they ever fall off. And you'll see incubation stacks. So you want to keep tanking the boss. Now, say a DPS pulls threat. They get a stack on them. You taunt, get the boss back. Well, that's, it's good you got the boss back, but hey, the stacks on that player are going to expire because they aren't taking the boss, and that will spawn larva at the wrong time, and it will mess up the phase. So you want to hold threat if you're the tank. Now, holding threat on any fight is important for a tank, but in this fight, it's particularly important. Now, the tank swaps revolve around the spawning and timing of the jealous male. So when it appears, you'll see red writing. You just go ahead, look for the little ad. You'll see him, taunt him, pick him up, and then drag him to the wall. He has knockbacks. You don't want to be knocking players out of flowers. You don't want to be knocking your healers around, knocking your DPS around. So just get your back up against the wall. You can hold threat easier. It'll die faster. It's just all around better. Now, the little swarm of ads has little to do with you as a tank. You're not tanking that. You're not worried about holding threat on that. That's the whole point of the flowers, the whole point of the pools, so that the other raid members get the pheromones, attracts those ads to them. They'll be buffed, and you won't have to deal with it. You're only tanking the male, the boss, and later on we'll talk about the twisted spawn. Now this is where the fight kind of lulls because you don't have threat on the boss, the other tank does. You've just finished killing the male. You're essentially just another DPS until the next jealous male spawns, and then you'll be reacquiring the boss. Now, one thing that's important to note with the boss is as it moves around the battlefield, you'll see it moving from here to there. It will do a ranged AoE spit attack if you don't get to it right away. Like in that case there, you didn't see it because the tank was quick enough where he got within melee range right away. But if you don't get in melee range, what happens is it's just going to do this AoE raid-wide attack. And so, yep, next you'll be seeing the jealous male spawning here very soon. And this is where the tank, who was off-tanking, now becomes the active main tank again. And this cycle will repeat itself. So tanking this fight well is just basically holding threat, like you should be anyway, and good reaction times. Good reaction times responding to when the jealous male spawns, responding to when the boss moves around the battlefield, getting to it right away. And as long as you're savvy and mobile and looking around and paying attention to the movement pattern, you'll be fine. This boss is relatively simple. The mechanics pretty much from the start of the fight go all the way to the end of the fight with very little variance. So this bit of the fight, towards the end, you're going to notice that Twisted Spawn have arrived. You'll see them as dots that appear on the minimap. And you're just going to, basically if you're the off tank, it's usually best, right? Go ahead and pick those up, drag them over to the edge of the wall, and because you're on jealous male duty anyway, go ahead and pick him up, drag all those ads to the side. Here I picked up the Twisted Spawn, didn't quite get the male, so I go over, get the male, bring him over. Twisted Spawn will go down as soon as the boss dies, but the jealous male and the other little ads will have to be dealt with conventionally, as they do not die when the boss goes down. But once the Twisted Spawn explode, the Writhing Horror is down, you just group up AoE heal, AoE DPS, and get it all done. Shouldn't be too bad. Sometimes, depending on how your DPS is, this phase won't even happen this way. It's just the way the phase is lined up. But that's pretty much tanking the Writhing Horror. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.